72-year-old Donald Davis's first trip to Fort Stanton Cave near Ruidoso was 50 years ago.
Yeah, I was immediately powerfully impressed with how long and how big these galleries were. I hadn't yet seen in the western U.S. a cave as big and as ramblingly extensive.
The great first impression lasted, and Davis returns every summer to explore more of the cave, but he worries the cave could be shut to the public because of a disease called white nose syndrome.
They might. There have been mass cave closures back east where it was originally established.
Cave specialist with the Bureau of Land Management, Mike Bilbo, says white nose syndrome is a fungus that attacks bats.
It's been found back in the eastern states that during hibernation, both in caves and mines, the bats have been killed by the millions.
According to Bilbo, white nose syndrome was first discovered in the U.S. in Vermont in 2006 and has since spread to caves as far as western Oklahoma.
It's at our doorstep. All of a sudden, we didn't think it was going to get here this soon.
I'll be sad when it gets anywhere in my region of the country. It's just another example of these apparently human-caused disasters, ecological disasters.
Bilbo says although biologists are still studying the disease and how it's spread, it's likely people and migrating bats transfer the fungus to different caves.
We don't know perfectly well whether the disease is borne by bats or by humans or by both. We just don't know that.
As a precaution, outside of many caves in the U.S., decontamination stations have been established. Cavers here at Fort Stanton Cave decontaminate their gear by soaking it in a bucket of 409 for at least 10 minutes. They also spray their equipment off and let it dry in the sun to kill any spores they may have picked up inside the cave. Bilbo says it's critically important to try and stop the disease from killing any more bats.
The common cave bat can eat 23 times its weight in insects a night. From an economical standpoint, farmers, people who depend on bats to get rid of the insects, and this is a big impact. And because now you have to go back to pesticides, or you have to up the amount of pesticides being used.
Davis says he also wants to see the bats thrive, and he's hopeful white nose syndrome doesn't cause the closure of any more caves, so he can continue to do what he loves most. For KRWG, I'm Jared Andersen.